Hey guys, Ramen King here with another Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life video. Today we're going to be looking at all the name changes we know of so far based on all the current trailers and screenshots that I've seen. Something that I noticed with the latest localizations of the Story of Seasons games and Friends of Mineral Town remake is how they started using the original Japanese names that were intended for the character, or at least more close to the Japanese name. Marlin is a good example of this. Matthew, or Mashu, as you would say in Japanese, was originally localized in Harvest Moon as Marlin. His new name, Matthew, is more close to the sound of the original name, so this iteration of his name makes more sense when translated to a local pronunciation and spelling. Next up is Tay. Originally localized to Tim in the original Harvest Moon, now has the new name Tay as seen in the short scene from the trailer. So Marvelous decided to stick with his original Japanese name. Then we also have Tay's wife. Ruby, as her name was originally localized to in Harvest Moon, took on the name Lou starting in Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town, so I'm pretty positive she'll maintain the name. This is an interesting one because I think that somewhere in the original localization process for the original Harvest Moon games, her name was supposed to be kept as Lou, because in some instances of Friends of Mineral Town, her name actually says Lou. But I guess Natsumi didn't think that was a common name here for a woman in the US, so they went with Ruby and switched it over, but forgot to change it in certain parts of Friends of Mineral Town's script. Murray is also another interesting one. We know Murray as Murray here in the US, but in Japan he's known as Moi. However, Story of Seasons changes this on both ends, and we end up with a completely new name, Pui, for both Japan and here in the US. Muffy is now known as Molly, which is a much more recognizable name here in the US than Muffy. In Japan, she's called Mumu. I agree with Marvelous not directly translating her name to Mumu, as Mumu sounds more like a nickname or a shorter way of saying Muffy, or a really mean way of calling her a cow. Up next is Celia, who is now known as Cecilia. This was a good localization and close translation of the original Japanese name Cecilia. While I like this localization, it would have been much better translated to. And finally, Forget-Me-Not Valley has been localized back to what it was originally intended to be, and directly translated from Japanese, and is now called Forgotten Valley. We also knew that this one was coming, as we see the name back in one of the character texts in Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town. I don't think I've seen anybody or anything else yet just by looking at the trailers and screenshots we've gotten so far, but I'll be back with more information and news in another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments if you've seen any other official name changes, and I'll see you all in the next Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life video.